one of the things that it seems to stand out to me is how grossly they underestimate the need for lead generation and the time, energy, and investment that goes into that. And I'm curious for your side, I try to explain that to them. I'm like, do you know how much energy this actually takes and how much or not necessarily capital, but it does take a significant amount of capital. But how much should the average agent be investing into lead generation? How much time, energy is it? Do percentages of what they bring in, or do you have a good roadmap on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, early in my career, I had a coach and mentor, and he used to always say, "Hey, there's three ways to get business. You can wait for it, do things where someone's going to come to you, like putting the word out there, sitting at an open house, waiting for the phone to ring. You can buy it, right? You can buy online leads. You can pay for mailers. You can do things, or you can go out and just earn it." And he said, earning it is the most predictable and profitable way because it's just through your efforts. So back to your question, I think any agent, whether they're on a team that's providing them opportunities or they're a solo agent, should be spending a significant part of their day on the two most important activities that exist, and that is lead generation and lead follow-up. And if an agent doesn't like to do that, which many of them don't, then they have to be okay, being part of a team that's going to provide them with those. But that's where their opportunities are going to come. For the agents that leave a team and think they're going to go out and do it themselves, then they should be really clear that they're going to be putting in time and energy and effort, generating leads if they want to survive in the business.
What do you think what are the best ways to go out there and earn them? Like if there were activities for people listening right now, like I want to get out there and earn leads, like what are the best ways?
Yeah, there's it's all about building relationships, right? Creating new relationships is what you need to be doing on a daily basis. Now, how are you going to do that? There's a number of ways. You literally could knock on doors. You literally could be picking up the phone and making calls. You could be targeting those calls to out of area owners or expired listings or for sale by owners or any group that you segment by. But it's a contact. It's literally making contact with people, either physically face to face. It could be at social events. It could be at membership, clubs or anything else, or it's contacting where they're at. Then there's the whole online opportunities, right? Being able to meet people online, through providing things of value that will cause people to engage with you or want to connect with you. But those are it's pretty simple, right? It's like
you got to commit, right?
Yeah, there's buyers, there's sellers, and there's agents, and we have to either connect with the buyer or connect with the seller to be able to provide a value that gives us an opportunity to do what we do.
This episode is sponsored by Follow Up Boss, and I know you, Justin, and Lindsay both know that I made the switch about a year ago to Follow Up Boss from being in one CRM for the last 13 years.
I read a stat the other day that 32 of the top 50 teams in the United States use Follow Up Boss already. So, I guess the proof's in the pudding there.
So whether you have a super team like George or a mini team like me, Follow Up Boss makes it super easy for teams of all sizes to get organized, stay on top of their leads and spheres with less effort, and improve overall performance so you can scale your business.
And thanks to FUB, all of our listeners can double their free trial and get a full 30 days to see how Follow Up Boss can level up your business. And there's no contract necessary, no credit cards required, completely free to give it a go. So visit followupboss.com/inspection period for more details. And thanks, Follow Up Boss, for making this possible.
I tell my finding that community, right? And you can do open houses, you said, you can door knock, you can cold call, expired FSBOs. Whatever the pillar, you should have 3 or 4 pillars of your business, I believe. And you got to go all in on, if it's farming, you got to go all in on it. My wife built a really good career just from our CrossFit gym. I always say like, hey, whatever you're going to do, this is a term I use on my team a lot. I'm like, you can't get a little pregnant. You got to go for it. You got to do it. Like, and when I said that, like on the CrossFit gym, like we sponsor everything. We do, your banner's up in there. Every event they have, we get the taco cart. You're flyering everything. You're engaging with the community as much as you possibly can and building strong relationships. And so whatever those pillars are, as you put, Chris, like it is just staying committed, staying consistent, reviewing your ROI, whether that's annually. Well, you should probably review it more often than that. And every now and then you might shift a pillar if it's not really getting the return you want. But always for me, internet lead generation has been a significant pillar. Aggregators like OJO and Movoto like have been a significant part of that. And but it's cool to hear it from another like leader in the industry. So
yeah, I think the important thing that you touched on, George, is you have to go all in and you have to pick a couple. And I think the challenge, especially new agents have, is when they come into the business, they see so many agents doing so many different things, and there's so many different ways of getting business. And I've always subscribed to and continue to that. Pick one or two things and become really good at those one or two things, and then add the next one. I think you'll have more success doing that, going deep, than you will being mediocre at a whole bunch of things. Okay. And my first year of the 27 homes I sold, 24 of them were for sale by owners. Because that's all I focused on. Now, I didn't know what a for sale by owner was, but the manager, the broker had this this manager, and who sat out back and smoked cigarettes all day, and I'd go and ask him, and he'd go. There were three of us that started at the same time, and every time I asked him a question, he'd say, "Come back when you're all together, so I don't have to answer this question more than once." I'd be like, so. Anyways, one day I think he, just to get rid of me, he handed me a script. It was a 1-page piece of paper that looked as old as he, and it was a script for sale by owners. So that's what I did. Called for sale by owners. But then the next year added expires. And then started farming, and then there's, there's regardless of the pill, there's not a better. A right one or wrong one. It's just choosing the one that you're going to do and do it consistently, which is the other thing you said that's really important. None of these things are a sprint. They're all a marathon. And it's time over task that creates the success.
That's a really common theme that we've seen in all of our guests, actually, is that they've, in their early parts of their careers, they fished around, they looked a little bit, they experimented with different things, and then they found one pillar or lead source that worked really, really well with them, and they were not scared to just go all in on that one thing, right? Like we see that across everybody that became successful in this industry, is that they had the tenacity and dedication and consistency to try things and not be scared of it, but when they found the thing, they went absolutely all in on that thing,
Yeah, I completely agree. My first year I did 100 open houses. That's how I got my business off the ground. It was how my grandma started her business in the 70s. And so I was like, I'm not from Arizona, right? I had to have people come to me. I didn't have a network. I didn't have friends. I didn't have family. I was new here. So yeah, I definitely think looking back, I didn't realize that it was like I picked one thing and just went really, really deep on it before adding. But I do see a lot of people doing what I call the shotgun approach and just trying a little bit of this. And somebody recently just came to me and was like, I've been emailing for 4 weeks and it's not working. I'm going to quit. And I was like, 4 weeks is literally 4 seconds with a business strategy. You have to do something for a nauseating period of time in order to even know if it's going to work, right?
You also see the opposite where people, I run into agents all the time. They're like, oh, I did this flyer campaign and it generated 30 listings over 3 months. It was awesome. And I'll ask cool. So how often are you doing that now? And they're like, yeah, we're not really doing it anymore. I'm like, why? Why?
Yeah, it worked. Why are you trying to diversify right now?
Right there. Yes. That's the thing. Go back and go do that again.
Chris, I think kind of, in wrapping up here, and this is kind of a selfish question because I'm interested in your take on it, but obviously the industry, with the NAR settlement, the landscape is changing somewhat, although we're a few weeks in, and I'm curious to hear like what impact are you seeing, and then a second part to that question is, I hear a lot of people say we got really good at articulating our value as agents, especially specifically right now, buyers agents. What the hell does that mean? Like, what does that even mean today?
Yeah. So I'll answer the first question first. I'll probably forget that second one. So you
I'll
can.
remind you. Yeah.
So so I'll just tell you specifically what we're seeing. So what we're seeing is that newer, less experienced agents are struggling. Right? When they meet a buyer, they're struggling. They're struggling in communicating. They're struggling at educating. They're struggling at being successful and getting an agreement signed and having the buyer go, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, let's go. Right? The skilled agents, the ones that have been preparing, the ones that were prepared, the ones that have been practicing and role playing and doing those things are going, oh, this isn't so bad. Yeah, this isn't it. So, the net effect of it is that there's still a lot of agents that aren't prepared, and they're going to struggle. And good agents are going to be doing transactions with those agents that aren't prepared, and that's going to create struggle and challenges. But over time, that will take care of itself, right? Because the agents that struggle will find something else to do, and the ones that know what they're doing are going to create more opportunities. When the settlement came out back in March, I just watched and watched the reactions and watched the fear and the anger and the opinions, and it was like if it was a movie, it'd be like super entertaining.
Oh my God.
And but look, when it boiled it down, I'd see people fall into two groups. The ones that were focusing on what they didn't like, what they didn't understand, what they didn't, and the other group was focused on, okay, where's the opportunities? Because any change creates opportunities.
Yeah.
A tornado comes through, it creates opportunities after it, right? Like, are we focused on, what are we focused on? So the ones that focus on the opportunities are the ones that are able to see it. When you're focused on fear, anger, being reactive, you can't see the opportunities. It's like having a filter on that prevents you from seeing that. So, we're seeing those that play out in those two groups, and the ones that were focused on opportunities are the ones that are going, wait, this is actually working out really good, or this is, I'm able to grow my team better because agents need the training and the support, or whatever it might be. So that's the answer to the first question. Now you got to remind me what
the second one was just articulating our value. Like, what is the one thing?
What does that mean?
Say that?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
If we think of it in terms of like the rest of the world, like I've hired a lot of attorneys in my time. I've had to hire several accountants. Every one of those attorneys, I have to sign a retainer agreement. My accountant every year sends me a letter of engagement. I have to re-sign with them every year saying, hey, this is what we do. This is what we don't do. This is what our fees are. So I'm used to that. Now, the only reason I'm going to hire that accountant again is if he's providing value. The only reason I'm going to hire an attorney if I believe that he's the best one for what I need, is going to provide value. Now, I'm really clear on what the value is that I'm looking for and what the value is that they provide. For most buyers, they don't understand that. And that's not their fault, right? It's something they've either never done before, or they did it 8 years ago and they don't remember most of what happened or how it happened or anything else. So it is incumbent upon us as agents to be able to educate, explain the process, and in doing so, explaining what we do that is of value or that brings value to the buyer. As a buyer, what's important? Hey, I want to know that the person I'm dealing with knows more than me, right? If they're going to be advising me, helping me, accomplish something, if I don't feel that they're more knowledgeable than I am, then I'm going to have a hard time like seeing that there's a whole lot of value there. So agents have to make sure that they're upping their game, right? Being a door opener is that job's gone.
Yeah.
But that was a job that a lot of agents got good at or specialized in. So yeah, like we could talk about value a lot, but that's you have to be able to make sure the consumer understands the process, your role in the process, what you do to make that process better for them, or what you do that gives them an advantage, which then answers the question, why should I hire you? Or what do you do that's different?
And as a reminder, Inspection Period listeners get a full 30-day trial of Bub. No contract, no credit card required. Just go to followupboss.com/inspection period for more details.